According to the National Institute of Mental Health, about 9% of U.S. adults suffer from at least one specific phobia. That's over 19 million people. Are you one of them? An extreme fear of a particular object or situation can send a person into a panic. Whether it's a fear of flying or an aversion to spiders, you're not alone. Fortunately, Hypnosis for Fears can resolve these issues quickly and painlessly. Watch this video and you'll learn about the top 10 most common fears that can be overcome with hypnosis. I'll also tell you about how my biggest fear was transformed into one of my greatest strengths. Hey everyone, my name is Erick Känd. I'm a professional hypnotist helping clients free themselves from extreme fears of all kinds. Can hypnosis help you overcome an overwhelming fear? Absolutely. Here's a countdown of the top 10 most common fears I've helped my clients resolve using hypnosis techniques. Number 10 on the list is fear of needles. While most people are not excited about getting an occasional flu shot, some people have an extreme reaction to needles. This fear seems to be most common with children, and it takes on a special importance when a shot needs to be administered for a medical or a dental procedure. Number 9 is fear of driving. I've worked with several people for driving anxiety, ranging from doctors to school teachers. Obviously, it's very inconvenient to have to rely on a bus or an Uber to get around. Number 8 on the list is fear of dogs, even the cute ones. If you think about it, any trip to a park, grocery store, or even a plane flight is likely to result in an encounter with a dog. This is more true than ever due to the steady increase in the use of dogs as service animals. Number 7, fear of spiders or bugs. People with this fear are often very specific, like just spiders or just cockroaches, and depending on where you live, this may or may not be problematic. Since I live in Florida, for example, my daily chance of encountering a spider is definitely 100%. Number 6, fear of snakes. While this is a very common fear, many people never bother to get help for it because it's kind of easy to avoid a snake if you happen to live in the city. Number 5 is fear of crowds. People with this fear will avoid going to crowded events like a concert, a county fair, or maybe even a big house party. As a result, they miss out on a lot of good social opportunities. Number 4, fear of flying. Avoiding an airplane is just not an option for some people if they need to travel for business or keep in touch with their family. One of my fear of flying clients had a husband get a job transfer overseas. So if she ever wanted to see her husband again, she needed to get on a plane. Number 3 is a fear of closed-in spaces. A common example of this is a fear of elevators. If you work in a tall commercial building, or if you like to go on cruise ship vacations, taking an elevator is a whole lot easier than going up 16 flights of stairs. Number 2 is fear of heights. For some people, a fear of heights means they can't even bear to look out of the window of a tall building. And forget about enjoying the view from a balcony. I even worked with one man who got very anxious just from standing on a chair or a stepladder. And number 1 on the list is a fear of public speaking. This fear is so common, it's safe to say that most people experience some anxiety when speaking in front of a group of people. There's even a joke that people tend to fear public speaking more than they fear death itself. I myself suffered from a tremendous fear of speaking in front of a group. Back in school, there were times when I was required to do a short presentation in front of the class. Now, each time this happened, I'd be just under the threshold of a full-blown anxiety attack. The most embarrassing thing for me was that my hands would shake violently from nervousness as I held onto my notes for the presentation. It was frustration from those types of experiences that led me to discover the power of hypnosis. I've discovered amazing techniques that have worked for myself and my clients to release extreme fears of any kind. If you haven't already guessed, Hypnosis for Fears helped me overcome my public speaking anxiety. In fact, I'm proud to say that I've actually now presented before large audiences in every state of the USA. Well, how does a person get stuck with an extreme fear? In the world of science, the emotion of fear is known as the fight or flight response. It's a physiological reaction that occurs in response to perceived danger, both real or imagined. My fear about public speaking was producing a fight or flight response as if I was in real physical danger, even though I wasn't. At the logical level, I knew that speaking to a group of people was not a life-threatening situation. However, at an emotional level, I was having feelings of anxiety as if I was in real danger. I was having an unconscious emotional response that wasn't helpful and actually was very upsetting. Well, you probably have at least one of your own personal fear triggers. And the interesting thing is, you probably don't even know how it got started. There are actually only two natural fears that we're born with. Number one is a fear of falling. And number two is a fear of loud noises. Those are the only two fears that are hardwired into our DNA. Any other extreme fear you may have developed is a learned pattern of stimulus response. You were not born with it, but your unconscious mind made an association to keep you away from something, and it stuck. Extreme fears and phobias can potentially be created in response to a single situation that was perceived to be dangerous. This occurrence is known as one-trial learning. Fear triggers often form at an early age when the mind is young and impressionable. For example, a 2-year-old child could develop a fear of dogs from a single unfortunate event when a dog viciously snapped at them. As an adult, they may not even remember that event, but the fear of dogs could remain. Remember, a child's mind is very reactive and impressionable. At that young age, a fear of dogs could even come about simply from viewing a vicious dog on a television screen. And that's why you don't just let your kids watch anything they want on TV, right? Well, once an emotional seed is planted, it can grow like a tree within the unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind is always looking to protect you and keep you away from potential harm. Now, just because you develop some kind of extreme fear doesn't mean you're stuck with that response for the rest of your life. Any reactive fear that has been learned can also be unlearned. And with the right techniques, any pattern of stimulus response can be rewired to something much more productive and useful. Remember when I said that fear triggers can develop from just a single event? Well, the fact that people can do that type of one-trial learning is also proof that a person's brain can learn very quickly. The ability to learn rapidly also makes it easy for you to learn a new way to respond to situations that used to trigger a fear response. Using hypnosis for fears, it's absolutely possible for you to break that stimulus response trigger, causing that fear that you used to have to become a thing of the past. It doesn't matter how long you've had the fear. It also doesn't matter if you don't know where it came from, because you probably don't. We now know that the human nervous system is designed to make rapid and permanent changes. And with the right tools, these changes can be dramatic and transformations can happen very quickly. If you have an extreme fear that's affecting your ability to live your best life, contact me for a free 20-minute strategy session. We'll discuss your goals and challenges and discover if hypnosis is the right fit for your situation. I've posted a link below so you can access my online calendar 24/7 to schedule your free discovery call. So click that link and schedule a free consultation with me right now while you're thinking about it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to speaking with you personally.